Orcs Must Die 3 is a third-person tower defense game that visually might remind you of Fortnite, and even hear characters' dances when you finish one of many level challenges that are prepared for you. This third entry in a series has a new story set more than 20 years after the previous game, where the War Mage and Sorceress have rebuilt the Order and trained 2 new young students, which you are choosing from. They differ in a main weapon and a special movement ability, but you can actually use both characters' weapon in the game, so the only difference is really the special ability and their visual. You have got several modes to choose from. There's a story campaign made of 18 levels with 3 difficulties that you can change at any time, then additional 5 levels within a later released free campaign, Scramble mode that unlocks after you get to level 12. This mode is basically 5 levels that are connected, and in between you get random buffs for your character and debuffs for enemies, and starting with 100 lives through all the levels. Then there's an endless mode and weekly challenges, both available right from the start. And lastly, there are 2 paid DLCs called as Ice, with 3 new scenarios in icy environments with new traps or enemies, and the second DLC, Tipping the Scales, with 5 new scenarios, this time in sandy environment. Both of these cost about $7 each. Perhaps the most interesting feature of the game is the possibility to play any of these modes co-op with one other friend. All of these levels, no matter the mode, have same simple goal that you might know from any other tower defense game. Protect your rift from enemies, and if a certain number of enemies get to it, the game ends. What's different here is that this is a mix of third-person shooter with the possibility of placing over 40 different traps that, if you lay it smartly, you might not even need to take care of the survivors by yourself. These traps, as well as your weapons, can also be upgraded for more damage or shorter cooldown. But since you can place traps only on clean, flat surface and they cost money, you need to think of a strategy where to place the traps and how to combine them to take down given number of waves consisting of different type of orcs. Some of these enemies are fast and small, other big and strong, some can fly, and some can even shoot back at you. But even if you get killed, you are going to respawn right away, as long as you won't reach 0 within your rift. Luckily, you can have up to 16 weapons that fire as well, and have always 2 modes of fire or magic. Both weapons and traps in the game has a cooldown, and some levels can be quite frenetic and challenging. Luckily, in between waves, you have time to place new traps for money earned from killing enemies, and even though you can place them even during waves of orcs shooting at you, it's better to do it on a break, so you have time to think it through before you press a key to start next wave. Within the main campaign, you will face 5 war scenarios that are basically bigger maps with not only inside your castle but outside as well, with the possibility to use weapons of mass destructions and gigantic traps, but of course for far bigger army coming at you. There are even bosses that will deactivate your traps, unfortunately, so some of these levels will be really tense. You can easily spend 20 hours in the game before you try everything, and since levels are rated and you can see from your friends who got higher scores, as well as endless and scramble mode that you can keep playing forever, it is really only up to you how much time you spend in the game. So the question is, how much time should you spend in this game? Should you even play it? As this game is now coming free from Epic to play and keep forever, as long as you claim it between May 2nd to 9, 2024. Then it's yours forever, and that's the core of this channel, to never let you miss any free PC game, and to give you a humble opinion to tell you which one you should spend your time on. This game is loaded with fun, lots of content, level replayability, unlocking system where you constantly get new traps to toy with, new weapons, upgrades, special items, and up to 6 heroes to choose from. On top of that, it's funny, charming, with its creative traps that will make the orcs fly around and not sure if it's a good thing, but I feel like I haven't had so much fun for a long time of taking your enemies in so many different ways and cut them to pieces. You will also need to pay attention to your shooting skill, as headshots matters a lot, as well as a strategy of placing your traps on floor, walls, even ceiling, and pretty soon in the game you get barricades which let you to redirect your enemy path. Yes, you should definitely play this game, especially single player, because right now there is no one playing the game on Steam. And yes, this will change when it's free from Epic, but only for a few weeks. In another month or two, no one else will probably play this game online. So you would need your friend to play it with rather than trying to find a random stranger. And that's why it's so important that this game is so well designed as a solo game in the first place. I tried the game both on keyboard and mouse and gamepad, and I have to say, especially for these headshots, it is definitely better, easier to play with keyboard and mouse, but of course the gamepad support possibility with lower difficulty is there as well. If you are into more traditional tower defense game, check out Bloons TD6, which is a 2D top-down game that has over 200,000 overwhelming positive reviews on Steam, and we also reviewed it as it was free from Epic Games twice already. And I hope you stay tuned for more free games reminders from us.